Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. We carry on talking about club rugby, and of course, currently there is such a fantastic vibe running through the world of club rugby. The announcement's been made by Western Province Rugby that clubs are allowed to train again. Of course, SA Rugby sent that notification out recently, and Western Province has followed up with guidance to the clubs that they are allowed to train. Of course, we know that this is all happening according to very, very strict health and safety protocols. Fazel Felton's on the line with me from Western Province Rugby. Fazel, welcome back. Can I fairly enough say this is great news for clubs?
Good evening, JP, and good evening, listeners. Yes, it's fantastic news. I think it's good to be back, good to be out there under circumstances. I think, just to be out on the field and to be doing stuff and to be, being active, I think that's a key thing for us. And, it's a step in the right direction. And again, it's the first part of hopefully, the bigger picture in terms of where we want to be and what we want to do. So it's fantastic news.
I love the fact that your clubs are now able to send their players. I mean, you guys sent this message out only yesterday, but I would imagine that minutes after receiving that letter, clubs were jumping on WhatsApp groups and saying, guys, training tomorrow night.
Yeah, no, definitely, Japes. I think, the key thing is the engagement, and I think that's what we also need to understand. Again, it's the small steps. And I think, from a club perspective, and I think what we've learned now in the last year and a half, I think from COVID and COVID compliance, I think the clubs, we've got an understanding. And, the key thing is about being responsible. And I think from a club perspective, it's how we manage it. And I think our clubs, we have done enough education. And I think it's exciting just to be able to be out there. And I think one of the, the positive points here that we need to look at ultimately, we want to play rugby, we want to get out there, we want to be out in the park. But I think just the mere fact of being able to run out on the field and to socialize and to, to the community, having that active environment and that. And I think that for us is more key than and the positive in terms of where we want to be and ultimately where we want to go. So it's good just to be out there and training.
Yeah, and of course the guys can be doing fitness training, they can be doing strength training, they can be doing motivational talks, they can be doing functional training. I mean, the list of call it instructor activities, maybe not coaching activities even, but instructor activities is huge. And I would imagine that so many people now again are able to say, I've had a tough day at work, life is miserable, but at least tonight I can go down to the club and have a bit of a workout.
No, 100%, JP. It's that escape, from that normal environment, that mundane week that you've had, and just be able to go out and socialize under that strict sort of protocols and that. I think that's fantastic. And like we said earlier on, I think just the mere fact that we're out there and we're able to do stuff, against what the normal routine is. And I think, that's the responsibility of clubs within their communities, is the understanding of the role and function that you play in that community. And for us, that is the key thing, is, being able to be involved in the community.
And one of the absolute blessings that I suppose rugby has is that you have got an open space. You're on a field where other sports maybe don't have that sort of luxury. The other sports maybe are in a room and are limited to numbers. And of course, in your case, you've got open air, sunshine. There's plenty of ventilation. So it's a great space to be training on.
No, definitely, just to be out, as you said, in the fresh air. Yeah. But I think the one key thing is the clubs understanding the protocols. I think, again, we've had an education process. So I think from a club perspective, I think we are very confident that we can apply, the protocols in terms of what's required and what's needed. And as I said, just having that change in routine is fantastic. And I think we're doing our bit, in terms of whatever's happening around us. I think we're isolating, we're trying to restrict our movement, but just the mere fact and opportunity of, twice a week, 3 times a week, having to go out to the field, having to breathe that fresh air, breathe out in the open, I think that's fantastic news.
Of course, you've got a number of other activities also currently running at the moment. We know that you've got continuation of the coaching courses where clubs are able to do their level 1 rugby coaching courses. That's coming up shortly. and you've got quite a lot of activity as well in the women's rugby space. I mean, this, of course, building on from the success of the DHL Western Province Rugby women's squad, that must be exciting for you guys, is the prospects of the women's rugby.
No, definitely. I think we've learned a lot in the sense of, in terms of, the commitment is there, the discipline is there of the ladies. So I think from our side is we need to filter through and carry through in terms of the success that we've had. We might not have had, the result that we wanted in the final, but I think we can be proud in terms of the ladies as to what, we have achieved up until that build-up. But I think it only gives us, that opportunity now in the off-season to work hard and in terms of focusing on what we need to do. So I think from the season, you can take back a lot of, points where we need to work on.
Yeah.
But I think the one thing is, is about growing the game. And I think what we need to now, look at now is focusing on in terms of the ladies. It's not season over, pack up, nothing to do. We'll resume again in February. I think the idea is basically now is we're already starting and working towards 2022 in terms of what the plan of action is and how to get the ladies up and running, fit and ready. And I think with COVID, the one positive thing that we've learned is we're using, this time to focus on whether it's the workshops, it's the coaching, it's the interaction that we have with the members. But I think the one focus that we're going to do now in the off season is focusing on the individual and the players, the understanding from the players, the mental focus in terms of the conditioning of their players and mentally preparing the players that they understand the role and function that they play as part of the team environment. So it's more focused now on the individual, getting them doing testing, doing medical screening, and then again, giving them the programs that when we resume again full training in November, they're ready. So we're going to do a lot of workshops. We're going to get a lot more, ladies involved. We're going to try and grow the squad, try and grow, club rugby. So there's a lot of things that is planned and that there. So I'm quite excited. And I think from the officers' side and from Western Province side, we're confident, we can take women's rugby to another level in terms of where we want to be.
Fazel, of course, that's fantastic. But it's great to see then that you've created these champions in the women's space, and that if you were a woman or a young girl that wanted to start playing rugby, you just needed to have look on the TV screen and see what the possibilities are.
100%, JP. I think the key thing is the access that we're going to now be providing. So anybody out there that would like to play, that is keen, like I said, it's not just about playing on the field. Whether you want to take up coaching, you want to take up refereeing, or you just want to be supporting at a club, we are opening the doors and we are welcoming anybody that would like to be a part of, the women's structure, the setup. I think we all got a place to play. And in terms of the, involvement, I think that's the key thing is, that we create that opportunities.
I love the fact that there's a hand-holding process here. And that you guys are facilitating the process. You're not simply saying we're leaving it up to you and it's all your responsibility. I love the fact there's engagements, that you're opening the doors, you're guiding, you're educating and you're empowering, and I think that's what we like to see in the world of club rugby. So that really is, it's incredible. But in addition to that, and following on that thread of hand-holding and helping, one of the important things that Western Province Rugby has been talking about and we know that you've been following through on this thread for many years now, but of course, one of the hot topics right now is the Lotto funding application process is open. How important is Lotto funding for club rugby, and what are you guys doing there?
JP, I think in this day and age and time, especially now with COVID, we're finding a lot of businesses and sponsors are, focused more in terms of, themselves, in terms of, funding is a major challenge for clubs. And I think the one avenue that we need to jump on is the Lotto. And I think from Western Province's side, we are focusing in terms of making sure that each and every club, I think the role and the responsibility is from the union side is to ensure that the club. So yes, there is challenges within the the club structures, people, volunteers. So the focus, there's a lot in terms of what needs to happen. So I think what we're trying to do again from Western Province office side now is look at trying to assist and help. So whether it means taking people by the hand, as we said, we need to ensure that we grab this opportunity in terms of getting funding. I think he has an opportunity to at least start form the basis of the club, to get kit, equipment, transport, capacity building. So we are going to encourage each and every club, and I think we're also making it a focus point from our side is to make sure that we follow through and ensure that each and every club has applied to the lotto. So that is going to be the driving point now for us, is to make sure that we take this opportunity, each and every club.
No, that's fantastic. I certainly hope that all the clubs apply for lotto funding. One of the old questions that many clubs have had is, must they be an NPO? And of course the answer to that is no. You fall in under the blanket of Western Province Rugby. So that's great, Fazel. I think that's fantastic that we see Western Province driving that initiative, because heavens knows sport needs all the money it can get. Fazel, but we will then leave it at that. Congratulations on the return to training. We know that you guys have implemented all the health and safety protocols, and that everybody's got a safety plan, and that now you can put that conversation one side and actually focus on the clubs training again, and hopefully they all get onto the park.
No, thank you, JP, and again to the listeners, everybody out there, again, be responsible. And I think together, we can get through this. And I think ultimately, for us, the focus is 2022, where we want to be, hopefully under normal circumstances. But I think ultimately the goal and the drive is basically to ensure that we're heading in the right direction in terms of what we need to do. So, we're hoping now off season that we don't sit back. We use this time again, whether we focused on our workshops, our capacity building in terms of growing the club, but at the same time that we encourage each and every club that there is that interaction with the members, because come 2022 we need to make sure that club rugby is back where it needs to be, and the support is there. We have the members. 2 years without rugby is long, so we need to have some sort of plan of action as to how we're going to get the members back. So I'm confident, our clubs, we've got great support. So I think I'm confident our clubs will, make sure that come 2022, that club rugby is back where it needs to be and it's strong. So yeah, thanks, James.
Thanks, Fazel. And of course, from our side, we can't wait to get the cameras out to the fields to see who's busy sprinting and doing their fitness. Fazel, we'll catch up again soon. Thanks very much.
Thank you, JP.
Thanks, Fazel. Yes, great news that our clubs are able to return to training. We're looking forward to this, and we're of course looking forward to getting back out there and filming you guys as you are training and bringing that to you. Right, folks, that is a wrap from us then this evening. On a final note, we just want to pass on our condolences to the Franschhoek Rugby Club on the passing of their coach, Jaco Stadler. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the friends and family of the Stadler family, as well as the club rugby community of Franschhoek Rugby Football Club, and also to Strand Rugby Football Club, who recently lost their coach, Jermaine Brinkhuis. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the family and friends of Jermaine and the family during this very difficult time. We'll see you again next week. Same time, same place. Bye-bye.